Taking a lesson from the ant, learning from the ant, and also being able to be successful. Here it says, "You lazy fool, look at the ant. Watch it closely. Let it teach you a thing or two." One place says basically, you wake up, you slugger, look at the ant. And it goes on to say, as you read it down through there, it talks about laziness and wanting sleep, the people that would rather sleep in for an extra 15 minutes than to get up, talks about them. And it says that poverty is certainly at their hand. It will take them to the deepest poverty, and poverty will overtake them. Let me just read a little bit more of it. All summer, it's talking about the ant right now. It stores up food at harvest. It stockpiles provisions. So how long are you going to laze around doing nothing? How long before you get out of bed? A nap here, a nap there, a day off here, a day off there. Sit back, take it easy. Do you know what comes next? Just this. You can look forward to a dirt poor life, poverty, your permanent house guest. Man, that's not good news when poverty becomes your permanent house guest. So what Solomon was talking about is to take a lesson from the ant. So let's just take a view at the ant real quick. The ant and the grasshopper, right? The grasshopper, he's hopping around, having a good time, dancing and singing some good songs and make some horrific noises. And the grasshopper is all about having a great time all the time. And accidentally hops into the ant's nest and scatters the dirt they'd piled up. And of course, he's moving on. He's quick. He can take long jumps. Nothing hurts him. But come wintertime, the grasshopper has a rough time of it. He doesn't know how to handle this scenario, ends up freezing. The ant, on the other hand, is working very hard all summer. He's piling up, he's building new nests, and he's taking in way more than he needs. But the ant then, of course, has something that keeps him going all winter long in a time of where most other life is miserable. The ant is very comfortable. It has built itself up for it. Now let's go back and take a look at how does the ant do this. The ant is very determined. Ant will not take no for an answer. When the ant is moving along, if you've ever noticed this, watch them walk, and they're all in a line carrying whatever they're carrying, and you so kindly reach down and move a small rock in its path. Yeah, I'm sure you enjoy the way that was said. So kindly do that. Move something in its way. The ant will come up to it, test it, figures out it can't push it, checks it out to see if it can go over it. If that's possible, it's going to go over it. If that's not possible, it checks below it to see if it can go under it. And if that doesn't seem to be possible, it turns one way or another and strives to go around it, gets back on its path and continues. Lesson from the ant. It gets back on its path as quickly as possible due to the obstacle that was unintentionally to the ant put in its way. It had nothing. It was external circumstances that put this obstacle in its way. The ant finds a way over it, under it, around it, whatever needs to be done. It will get through it. It will get to the other side and get back on the same path and continue as though nothing has happened. The ant keeps going and working hard. Ants support each other. If one can't pull whatever it is they're trying to get, many others come up and help them until they have enough there to do what they're trying to do. Leadership. An ant does not have a boss. Ant does not have a manager. An ant is a leader in and of itself, as so are we humans, designed to be. It goes out and does what needs to be done when it needs to be done, but if it doesn't have what it takes, the others organically gather around it to help it. The ant figures out a way to make it happen. The ant is very powerful, but it's also very goal-oriented. It's focused. It knows what it wants, and it's going after it. It's going to make it happen. Just doesn't care what it has to do. If it has to drag a big stick out of the way, it'll get enough other ants together to do it, to drag it out of the road. If that can't be possible, They will sometimes support each other in climbing over, like getting down so someone else can climb over it to get on up. The ants will do whatever it takes. They have the whatever it takes mentality. You put the obstacle in front of me, we'll find a way around it. We'll find a way over it. We'll find a way under it. We will find a way to get what we started out to get. We will get there. That's why the Bible in itself says to take a lesson off the ant. We as humans today have become so weak, mentally speaking, that we try to find a medication to take care of every discomfort that we have versus working through this. We are getting to where we're becoming so weak that we think that is the way it should be, weakness. We are, just these weak, finite little beings. If we were these weak, finite little beings, and that was how we were created to be, then Scripture wouldn't tell us to take a lesson from the ant. The ant is very strong. It is very committed. It is very focused. It knows what it wants and it goes after it. Nothing will stop it. Put an obstacle, put a rock in front of me. Tell me I can't have it. I'll figure out a way to go over it. I'll figure out a way to go around it. I'll figure out a way to go under it. I'm going to figure out a way to get this what I told you I'm going to have. It says to take a lesson from the ant. That is something that the ant does. The ant stores up. Oh, there's people that will ridicule you for trying to do well financially. Go ahead, do it anyway, because that is a lesson of the ant. It stores up more than it needs. It doesn't worry about tomorrow. However, it has a goal for tomorrow. Scripture says not to be worried about tomorrow. Today has enough problems of its own. Now, many people translate that into, well, if I'm not going to worry about tomorrow, then I'll just do enough for today. Just create enough for me for today. That's probably what that means. Not at all. Not at all what it's saying. It's just saying, don't be worried about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own problems. Go ahead and do what needs to be done, but be concerned about what you must do today and be concerned about the problems of today. Don't worry yourself about the problems of tomorrow, because the problems of tomorrow you cannot solve today. You can solve them tomorrow. I wanted to bring that in because I know that oftentimes comes up when we're bringing up goal setting, when we're bringing up being focused on the future. Yeah, but Scripture also says not to be worried about tomorrow. Having a goal doesn't mean you're worried about tomorrow. Taking a lesson from the ant doesn't mean that you're worried about tomorrow. It means, though, that you're optimistic about tomorrow, that you have a goal, a dream, a desire for tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to be better than it was today. Tomorrow I will be a better person than I was today because I'm taking a lesson off the ant. I'm realizing that working hard, getting up, and working consistently is what the ant would do. I'm realizing that the ant doesn't take no for an answer. The ant stays focused. The ant stays committed. The ant doesn't get discouraged and quits and says, that's not for me. I can't do this. The ant stays the course. Yes, it gets tough for the ant. Sometimes they get stuck in the mud, and sometimes it rains, and sometimes the water runs right across where their path was. There's so many different things that happen that can affect the ant. But the ant never complains. It just figures out another way to make it happen. The ant doesn't whimper. It doesn't whine. It doesn't do this in however 50 different categories that most do, complainers do. The ant figures out another way and keeps going, even if it takes the whole tribe to work as a team to make one thing happen. They're going to do whatever it takes. They will accomplish what they started out. It is the don't quit attitude that the ant carries that makes it lethal. And yes, absolutely lethal. One wise man once said, there's nothing more powerful than a made-up human mind, a mind that is made up to do. The ant conveys that. The ant portrays that. The ant gives us, that's an embodiment of that particular statement. The ant has made up its mind what it was going to do. And, you may as well get out of the road. That's what's going to happen. There's no stopping it. It's not going to slow down, give in, give up, or give out. The ant has chosen to do that, and it's following through. Just give it that space because it's going to do it. Yes, it's still fun. If I ever get out in the timber where I'm spending some time and I find a stream of ants, I still enjoy to sometimes put a small obstacle in the road just to watch them move it out of the road and see how they work as a team. It is inspiring to me. I get all energized watching the character of the ant, watching the commitment of an ant, watching the dedication, the leadership, the team effort, team players. I just, when I seen what the scripture has to say about listening to the ant and taking a lesson from it, I couldn't help but bring this up as a small talk this morning to use it as a example of the absolute crucial importance of having a no-quit mindset. If every person, every divorce case that's ever happened had the no-quit mindset, it would potentially have been different. But I'm not here to knock that. I know that there's times where that is important. I'm not here. I get to be very careful because there are exceptions to every rule. But I'm going to say also that every business that has failed, if the no quit mindset would have been there, it may have went differently. Also, the ant chooses wisely what it wants before it starts. That's very important too. Another thing that I always love to say is when we always finish what we start, we're very careful about what we start. Another wise man once said, always finish what you put your hands to. Just be very careful what you put your hands to. And so with that being said, the wisdom of the ant in Proverbs is very powerful, but then dissecting it and opening up the characteristic nature of an ant is just very inspiring. And why the scripture would have asked us to use the ant as an example is also very inspiring. So with that being said, guys, make it a great day. And as always, remember, don't settle for less than who you are. May God bless you.